Welcome back to our YouTube channel. In today's video we will commentate and analyze the two most important matchups for Blackbeard in the upcoming set, that are Doffy and Usopp. These two decks will probably be the most popular at every big event together with Teach. And before we start, I want to say that these videos were recorded some times ago, so there might be some misplays, and we'll talk about that too. Okay, so here I go second versus the Doffy, and he starts with a Buggy, and I responded with a Doku. And he has to trade the Doku. Here at my 4 turn, I have a pretty good turn because the 5k body is pretty weak, so I can just swing 7 and do other plays. A 6k body would have been problematic. So with the spare to Dawn, I just play another Doku to set up a little bit more, and just discard for the leader effect. Okay, here he decided to go 6 to the face and stand piece, and that's correct, because probably he has only 5k pieces in the stack, or he didn't know them, so it's better to just play a standard character. For my 6th turn, here I can just play Kuzan into one Agur, clear his piece, and go face, that is always good. Here I go 6 to the face, and he will take it, and trigger a Raging Tiger, that is bad for me in this spot. I discarded for the ability, and passed the turn. Here he has an important turn, because he has to choose if he wants to swing to my leader or to the board, and I think that swinging to the leader is correct, because if he swings into my Doku and plays another 4-drop, it just goes... he does not play around Liberation, and that's bad for him. Instead, in this way, he will push me and play around Liberation, that is good in this spot. I play the stage, and I think that I'm looking for another Kuzan or Vanagur to clear his body. Here I go with another Kuzan, clear the boa, and with the remaining 2 dons, I will just play the Lafitte that I added to my hand with the stage. This way I can set up a little bit of board, and I'm trying to stabilize. I had another Kuzan. Okay, so I'm playing this game just spamming Kuzan Vanagur and clearing his board every time. I don't think that I will chain Tank of Stitch for the state of the game. Okay, it just wants to clear my Searcher, that is fine. And my Doku. Okay. And he will fill the board, because he's in a bad spot and maybe he's trying to not play around the Liberation, trying to win the game just going face. Okay, here I will swing 6 on 4, and I think that I will just play a Liberation to clear all the board. Yeah, here Liberation is huge. I'll go 5 to the leader, and we'll counter it, that's right. Okay, I will just play Shiryu, that I think is a very good card in this matchup. So now I'm in a very good spot, because the board is mine, and if he plays a 7-cost spell to clear my board, I'm still in a good spot, because he did not put any pressure on me. a leader miss. That's very bad for him. And I will just take the life without any problem. Okay, he's continuing to fill the board, trying to push me and kill me. I think that I will just clear the board with my spells and go to the face. Okay, 5 to the face. I decided to start with a 5 because if he takes, I can push like 8, 9 and put him to 0 life. Instead, I could just play another Kuzan that is still really, really good. Here I know that he will draw a 7 cost spell, so I will not activate Kuzan ability and just swing with him the next turn to go for lethal. Here I place the 7 cost spell. Okay, he decided to go 5-5. Just a big 7 swing was useless. So I think that 5-5 was the right option. Here I had a basket shot, okay, that's fine. Here the lethal is not a sure lethal, so I decided to just green him more, because if he takes the 7, that's mat. But if he counter it, I can just go for another 7, put him to 0, and play safe. Here I activate Kuzan, clear the board with Shiryu, and I can just play Vasco. The remaining Dawn are useless. Okay, in the second game I will play against Usopp, and here I go first. I think that going second is better in the matchup, but we wanted to test. Sage is always good against Usopp, and Bargis is the key to win, so good start for me. Here he goes with a Rebecca, and decided to add the trick spell, the King on Gun. I think that it's a misplay, and you always want to add the stage as soon as possible, and the King Kong gun is not so useful in this matchup. Okay, here I go with the stage. Discard Doku, that is pretty useless. I will add another Bargis that is really, really good in this matchup. I decided to play Lafitte, because this is the only spot in the entire game that Lafitte is useful. Because from the next turn he will put Cavendish on board, and if I use Lafitte, he will just swing on him with Cavendish and value through 2, discard 1, so I don't like it. But in this spot, Lafitte is good. I will just go 6-2 leader. He goes 5 to the leader, I will always take the first life. And as I said before, he goes for a Cavendish. And here, if you have an answer to Cavendish, I think that you must use your spell to remove it. In this case, I think that I had no answer in hand, so I will just play Akuzan with my 5 Dawn. But I think that is always correct to clear the Cavendish as soon as possible. Okay, here I misplayed, because I think that removing the Rebecca was not necessary, and it also makes your liberation worse, because in this turn he can just easily play around the liberation, and we don't like it. So I think that keeping the Rebecca on board was fine for us. Okay, here he attacks with Cavendish, and we are very lucky. We triggered Finger Gun to remove the Cavendish. And from this spot, I think that the game is pretty easy, because we just cleared the Cavendish for free, and that's too strong. He goes for another Cavendish and an Ideo, and that's fine. And here, same as before. If we can clear Cavendish, we just do it as soon as possible. Here I will add a barges. So we have seen 3 barges in this game, and I think that we will use them pretty soon. Here I discard a barges because probably I'm just gonna summon him with Kuzan. I will go 6 to the leader. Another 6. And he will block and draw a card with the leader. And here we will just clear the Cavendish. We have seen another finger, and that's huge in this matchup. And we can just activate Kuzan and bring back barges and draw. And we are in a very good spot because we have still a lot of cards in hand, and our barges is on the board, and it's already huge. It's a 9k in this moment. Okay, he goes for 5 to the face. I don't like to drop too low in this matchup, also because I know that he has a King Kong gun in hand, so I don't want to go to 2 life. Here I use my stage. And this turn, 9 Dawn, I think that I will just put board, because I have no better option in hand. And it's so strong to have a lot of barges in this matchup. Like 3 barges are huge, because also with a 7 cost spell, you still have 1, so that's pretty good. Here we go for 5 and then 9. We will just draw with leader, call back an idiot thanks to Frankie. And as I said before, we will just go barges, Kuzan, bring back another barges. Now we have a lot of big bodies in board. He goes for a 5 and we take it. We take these 2. So now King Kong doesn't get the value from the double attack. Okay, he just wants to fill his board, and I think that is correct, because our liberation cannot do nothing thanks to Sabo. So here I go with a stage, and clearly the 10 drop Teach is the best option in this turn, because we just place him on the board and attack with huge bodies. And that's what I do in this spot. Okay, we will stun his Zoro, simply because he's the bigger body on his board. And his leader cannot draw, thanks to our Teach, and that's really good. And we now just go for the board. First for the board, to clear the Sabo, and then we go face. Here he triggered a red rock, and I think that is correct to trigger, because if you keep it in hand, to remove my Teach and go for lethal the next turn, I just have to guard a 7k, and that's not hard for Teach in this spot of the game to counter. Here I discarded a Teach, and I think that plays bad. I think that I should have kept the Teach in hand, because now for the next turn I have no useful plays. All my hand is just counter, and I cannot do a lot of things. Here my spells are all almost useless, because Sabo is protecting all these blockers. So maybe a Teach would have been the better play also in this turn. Okay, here I had a Kuzan, and I think that the right play in this turn is just to clear that Sabo and go face if possible. We will just swing big, and he will probably give us all of his blocker. Here I go with a 10k to the face. I think that going face is the correct place, because if he takes it, he's dead to a black hole, because black hole will nullify the blocker effect of Bartolomeo. Sabo will be bounced back to the end, but that's fine, because he is at 0 life and without any blocker, and I have still a big swing from the Teach. So 10 to the face was correct. I will then just play the Kuzan, bring back Vasco shot, and I'm safe from anything, because also if he had a red rock, I just had to counter a 7k, so that's easy. Yeah, Hyale counter, he will play double blocker again, but this time Sabo is not on the board and I have my removal spell. Here Bargis is huge. Yeah, I will just go black hole and another black hole. So that's just little. In these matches, I used the list that placed second in the Asia Finals, as you can see in the photo, and I think that the list is pretty solid, but I prefer to play with 4-finger pistol, and these matchups were both really tricky, because Usopp can steal you the game in some ways with a lot of blockers, and off is just hard as usual, but with OP10 cards you can play it very well. Bye!